if that's okay for everyone. Fantastic. So again, thank you very much for joining this session. I am Nicolas Elbouzi. I am the regional manager at Blackboard, and we will be hosting this session about Dante Alighieri Society. For those who do not know Société Dante Alighieri, this is the equivalent or very similar to l'Alliance Française in France, for example, or the Instituto Cervantes in Spain. So the whole idea, it's the main institution to promote the Italian language, culture around the world. Today, we are very, very pleased to have Giorgio Massei, who will introduce the Dante Global Project. Giorgio is actually the director of the Laboratorio Edulingua, specialized in study abroad program. He's also the supervisor of the Dante Global Platform. Giorgio also teaches himself the degree of Italian as a foreign language at the University of Macerata. Before that, Giorgio taught Italian at foreign at several institutions, including the University of Michigan in the US. Last but not least, Giorgio is also a successful author at the Alma Edizioni publishing house. So very, very happy to have Giorgio introducing us the project. And Giorgio, if you want to go ahead, the floor is yours. Giorgio, you may need to activate your microphone button, which is located at the bottom of the screen, so that we can hear you. Giorgio, I don't know if you can hear me. I see that your microphone is open, but for whatever reason, I cannot hear you. It wouldn't be fun if there wasn't some tiny bit of technical problem. Yeah, can you try to reconnect, Giorgio, maybe? It's gonna, okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
We can hear you loud and clear, Giorgio. Welcome.
Okay. This was a nice way to show everybody that I'm not too much into technical things, but I'm a teacher. So that's why attending this event for me was very important, because I learned a lot, and that was my first goal, to learn. I've been using Blackboard in the last couple of months, so I'm here probably the least expert. But I want to tell you so many things we are doing, and I think many of them are very exciting. So finally, okay, I'm speaking, and I hope everything is fine, and everyone can finally see me too. Okay, I will start with the presentation. Nicolas, can you confirm to me that it's okay, so technical problems are solved?
We can hear you, see you, everything is absolutely working fine, and you can even maneuver within the slides. So the floor is completely yours.
Absolutely. Excellent. So, again, very, very happy to be here. And what I want to tell you is a journey that we are doing now. A big journey for an institution like Dante Alighieri Society that, as Nicolas was saying, is the official institution in Italy that is promoting our culture and language all over the world. So we've been doing a lot in the last year for the reason that you already know. I guess it's the same for everyone in the world. Also, we went through an important year because it's an important Dante Alighieri celebration. And through Blackboard, that's the important thing to tell about this in this presentation. We went through a process that for us is taking this crisis, this big pandemic problem, and is developing an opportunity for new project, new products, to change the way we were offering courses, Italian language courses, online, of course. And again, to us, it's going to be very important in our identity in the future. So, first of all, from the picture of Dante Alighieri, as I said before, I'm a teacher, so I want to ask you some questions. I've tried to resist, but I have to, so I have a poll for you. I don't know if any of you is aware that the important celebration we had about Dante Alighieri is the anniversary of his death. But how many years ago? Do you have a chronological idea of when Dante died? 500 years ago, 700 years ago, 1,000 years ago? Do you have an idea? Do you know Dante a little bit? So you can write down in the chat if you have some ideas. Because we were celebrating, we are celebrating the anniversary this year. Okay, I'm seeing someone is answering 500, 700. Yeah, we'll launch a poll so you can even answer here. You should be able to click the right answer. Let's see, someone is answering. Okay, let's see the answer. 700 years. That's the anniversary. Okay, and in 700 years, Dante is still well alive in the world culture, I would say. And Dante Alighieri Society has the mission that I simplified in this little chart. 132 years of history as a Dante Alighieri Society dedicated, the name of the poet, 482 branches in the world. So Dante Alighieri, I guess, is the second oldest institution between the leading institution in the world, I guess, older than the British Institute. And we are in 80 countries. So many members and students, and also the official certification, PLIDA, that is one of the most important between the 4 certifications we have in Italy for the Italian language. But as I said before, the offer we had till last year was strong, well developed, but mostly face-to-face. We had school branches all over the world, but the online courses were not really well organized. So we had branches at the time with an online offer, but there was no general view on the online courses up to the pandemic, because when we were affected by COVID-19, everything changed. You know, all of us were devastated by what happened. We still are, actually. But for us, there was the problem to figure out how to maintain an offer with our courses. So independently, most of our branches decided to organize themselves, to start some online courses. I would say probably 65% of the branches were able to react with an offer based on Zoom. Zoom was the most used solutions for synchronous courses. But that's it. We didn't have anything else. Many branches were not ready. And as a main office in the headquarters in Rome, we couldn't organize right away an offer, a centralized offer, a coordinated offer. So you can imagine the result. We lost many, many students. And at the same time, we were thinking, what could we do in order to solve this problem? And that's the opportunity. With a big effort, with the support of many partners, with our president that really was able to find support and funds, we decided to invest a lot. And this is the website that we had like till last year. And now I show you the new one. So starting from the problem we had with COVID-19, we decided to redesign our brand. So as you can see in the picture, totally different. Logo different, name different, URL different, mission the same, but with different tools. And that's why we decided to take the challenge and to try to, in the shortest time possible, to develop a centralized offer, a coordinated offer online that in our picture, in the future, will be not just a backup plan, but will be as important as the face-to-face classes that we will hope will start again to offer in few schools. We already started, of course, in the world, but we have a vision, and from a problem, we try to find an opportunity. And so here we arrive to Blackboard, because trying to choose and to think how could we design a virtual school, and seeing also many different models from other important institutions, we decided to go with an LMS. And we decided to go with the best one, because we wanted to provide a sense of a virtual school. So a place where we could organize our pedagogical ideas. So here you can see the institutional landing page, and that was a totally new environment for us. You should try to think how difficult it was to adapt in such a short time all our institution to a new learning environment. And that's why our goals were ambitious, and they are still ambitious. And we are planning a long time of work, because as you can imagine, it's not finished. But first of all, we wanted to develop an environment, and Blackboard was the ideal place, the virtual tool that was able to collect, to host all the ideas and all the materials, and also to manage students in classes, maintaining this vocational project of a school. We wanted to have a place to be. We designed a framework, a pedagogical framework, how to teach in this environment. And of course, we couldn't use the same models we were using in a face-to-face interaction. So we decided to go with a task-based approach. So in our meeting online in the Zoom classroom, because we are using Zoom as a synchronous tool, I will tell you later, we decided to perform with students. When we meet online, that's the time when we want to perform on practical tasks. So students has to prepare quite ahead. It's a sort of a flipped classroom in a sort of way. And that's again a new thing, because a task-based approach is not really common in face-to-face setting. And the online environment and all the material that we are uploading in Blackboard and in our learning environment is able to allow the asynchronous work needed in order to perform when you meet the teacher and when you are with the other students. So that's how we moved in that direction. And then we decided to develop our own materials. In the past, we had collaborations with several important publishers, but we decided that we want our own our own material, and digital material, not adapted, not something written for paper like typical books that then are digitalized. We wanted our own, and we did it. We already have more than 50 units designed in SCORM, and we have a plan to implement constantly files and materials for a year and more. Then we had to train our teacher. And as you can imagine, that was tough. We started with the first process that lasted 2 months. But yet we are at the beginning. We know that we are going to have a custom teacher training course with the teachers already teaching, but also with the others that will join us in this yet challenging task. And then the project is starting in Rome, started in Italy with the first courses, hosting students from all over the world, but then expand this model to all our branches. So pretty ambitious. Few of these points are already being achieved, I will say, but others are yet to come. We are ready. And so, just to explain to you how quick the process was, it took us a year of work, crazy work. And from the first idea, more or less in a year, yeah, we were able to launch officially the platform April 14th. So you can see that just a month and a half of experience in Blackboard with real students. And the president of the Italian Republic was the one clicking the link and launching the platform. That was such an honor for us. All the process was followed by SADOR. I have to say this, our partner implementing Blackboard and all the tools and setting all our ideas, everything was done with SADOR, who made the difference. And the guys, some of the guys are here supporting me. They did an amazing job because internally as Dantelligeri, we have an IT office, but we were not ready for that. And their support was phenomenal. And they provided us, and they are still providing us with all the information needed to this challenging task. And so this is what I can see from my dashboard and some of the courses already in the platform. And we try to design, to use pictures, to make the environment familiar with the students, and also representing what students are looking in our courses. You have to imagine that Italian, for most of them, is an extracurricular course. So, for them it's just the joy of learning and the joy of the process. So even if what I'm showing you now, there's not much about assessment that is not as relevant in the first stage for us, because our courses are for adults, for people from all over the world desiring to learn a new language. So the assessment is part of the project. We have already many ideas, but it's not the base for us, even though I have to admit we have a certification in an official certification as a Dantelligeri. So we do have projects that we are developing, but we started just thinking to course content, classes, how to manage this, and how to perform well in Blackboard. We decided to integrate two very important pieces, two tools that are allowing our ideas. The first one is Zoom, as I told you. Why Zoom? This is interesting. We had different options, of course, and Zoom was already used by many of our teachers, by many of our branches. And so was easier as a transition. And also we are partnering with Zoom to create hybrid classrooms. So they are setting up in our branch in Rome, in the headquarters already, few classrooms in order to have a hybrid lesson, having students face-to-face in the classroom and others connected online, interacting together. And we are going to create different hybrid classrooms in branches all over the world. This is the plan. And the other tool, very important, is Panopto. Panopto was a new option for us. We were not aware uh, of this tool, but Fedor explained to us the potential, and we are seeing now it's fantastic. Fantastic because with Panopto, okay, I'll show you a picture about one of the projects of the hybrid classrooms, but okay, this is just the project. We are working on it now, and in just a month we will have the few classrooms ready. Panopto is allowing us to record all the lessons in Zoom real time, to upload in few seconds the recording in Blackboard. The students are reviewing everything, but also we can build exercise on it. That's a very important thing. Every recordings, every video technically, but the class recording will be elaborated in a way that we are putting questions, we are requesting feedback, and that's phenomenal. And the transition and the learning curve was so short. Teachers were able to use it in days. And you know that's a very important thing. Introducing many tools together for who's not used to, it's a painful and long process. And Panopto, that our teachers now are using also for creating exercises, polls, videos, was easy to use. This is the very important thing. And the course content, this is the other challenge that we took. 5 people in our staff were just dedicated for a year in order to elaborate this SCORM that are working in our platform and paying attention to accessibility, of course. We have several options. You can make all the letter bigger, you can enlarge, expand the distance between letters. You can change the background in order to see better. You can simplify the color palette in order to make it clearer. And everything was brand new. It's like if we developed materials for 2 course books, but everything digitalized. And that's just the beginning. These are other screenshots taken from the files, and we try to implement all the best practice that in language learning you can get, like the karaoke listening exercise, where you can cancel for a few seconds the voice of someone, and you can have your students speaking. You can delete part of the dialogue text and invite students to write down. And we try to do much in such a short time. Also taking care of the pictures, of the designing, of the feeling that you get when you are in the platform and you are doing the exercise. Also because we try also to engage students with empathy, not only during the synchronous moments in the class, but also when they are working in asynchronous part in the platform. So with pictures, with photos, we worked a lot selecting and designing from the scratch the materials. And just to give you an example of the care that we try to put in our work, for all the courses that we have in different levels, for all the sections, for all the classes, we have a corner, we have a file where we have videos that a very important psychologist in Italy did for us. And in this video is talking about the typical problems in learning. So how to interact with peers, how to memorize things, how to speak in public, how to solve possible tensions with the others. So not only related to the work, the language work, but also to online interaction. All the problems on being, in front of a screen and need to interacting with the others. So we created a special section with all the advices, of course, with discussion forums where students are invited to interact, to of course, put their own problems and share them, and it's working a lot. There was a thing that we decided to put as a possible very interesting developing in the future, but we saw reactions right away. We saw students that were probably interacting the most in this discussion forum related to problems and challenges of learning. And then a long process where hundreds of video, part of collection that Dante Alighieri has, will be in future digitalized. That's the challenge also that we want to face and solve. This picture that you see, it's one of the most important author of books in Italy about history of food. And we have many interviews he did for us explaining and narrating many interesting things. But of course, we need to simplify the language. We need to elaborate the videos and put questions and feedbacks. And so a long work that in a year, and so we provide students to a huge video library. Also, we are collaborating with RAI, the national channel, the national television. We have an official partnership with them. So the project is also aiming to having in the platform episodes and movies, TV series, where we are going to put our hands. Put our hands, I mean, simplify process, creating tasks for different levels, and of course, connecting the video to a learning path that is connected so to the classes, to our syllabus, to our materials. Well, next, I already told you much, is going to be the teacher training system that has to be, I would say, an open lab, a constant lab, where exchange, practice, best practice, and see results. And in the same time they are coming. We are receiving feedback, we are elaborating them, and we are implementing what is coming from it in our classes. And of course, we have to spread what we are doing to our branches. This is the next step. Only in the next month, we hope to start with the hub of 6 branches that I show at the beginning. And complicated, but as I said, from this big crisis, we are trying to make the most of it and trying to see that even traditional values, and Italian language that is carrying all this tradition of culture can be something still appealing through new technology. And there's no contradiction. No, there's just we try to take advantage of everything we can use, and Blackboard provided an incredible possibility. I hope to be here with you in future to tell you more about how all this is going on and all the results are going to get. www.dante.global is the website. And if you want to go there, see around, and maybe provide a feedback, I would be glad to read your feedback. Corsi at Dante.global is my email. And thank you for the auguri.
Thank you very much, Giorgio. That was extremely inspiring. Hervé, please go ahead.
Oh, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Yes. No, thank you, Giorgio, for this great, fantastic insight into your journey. You mentioned these hybrid classroom you're trying to put together. So it's not only a technical challenge, but it'd be great to hear, or for the teacher it's going to be really tough, because the teacher is going to be in front of a physical audience with a group of students who are there, in the classroom, and then some students who are going to be spread, I guess, over the continent, So how do you going to have a facilitator to help the teacher, or you're going to train the teacher really to be aware of the two cohorts of students?
That's a good question. We are already aware of how difficult it will be. We didn't start it yet because, as I said, all the work is going on in the classrooms and the setting is going to be ready, I guess, at the end of June. In our idea, even if teachers are getting a lot of training, we are going to have a facilitator, but the goal is that the teacher will be independent. That's the plan that we have, but it's not possible right away. We have many things that we want to test before. And in order to do that, we also need hardware that we are testing too. So more screens in order to have constant sight of the situation, both into the classroom physically and online, special microphone settings. But we know that we can face many difficulties, right? And so we are going to have a facilitator, that's right. But I have to be honest, we are thinking that ideally we are working for prepare a teacher to be independent. That's our goal. I don't know if we will make it. But yeah, we know that is the most challenging part of our course offer. And we are also simulating some of this challenging with our teachers. But to be honest, we know that students are, for them is challenging, especially the language interaction, the language classes need to have. I mean, group work, pair work is fundamental, is constant, needed in our classes. So we want to find a way that is allowing students abroad to interact with students in the class smoothly. At the beginning, probably this is going to be, just a little. It's easier to create groups online working on a task and in the physical class working in other tasks, and then presenting to the others. But we would like to mix it to allow a different interaction. So we will set up different screens and to create like different desks. We have ideas, but not tested yet. So we know it's going to be challenging.
Thank you, Giorgio. Thank you for this honest answer. Yeah, I think anyone who is using a virtual classroom in a hybrid setting are going to have these challenges. So yeah, please come back to our user group and share your journey and your findings and your solution. We are all looking for those. Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Is there any other question for Giorgio? Feel free to use the chat or just go vocal.
There's one in the chat, Nicolas, from Alessandro. I don't know, Giorgio, if you can see it. How is the feedback of your teacher on the Blackboard Ultra experience? Is it new for them? I mean, some teachers are not never used an LMS or a VLE as we say it, you know. So for some of them it can be totally new, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because for many of our teachers, the first goal was to explain the relevance, the absolute relevance to use an LMS. So that was the first step, because they were still connected to idea that everything was going on in the face-to-face interaction. But all of you already know how this is not true and how online we have to work differently. So at first we have to go over this problem. Then the reaction going into Blackboard was, at first I would say, a little bit disoriented. They need a little time. But when you get into it and when they start teaching, because you can train them a lot virtually, explaining things, simulating things, we did it a lot. But yet you need to start teaching. When you start teaching, everything is changed radically, because they need it. Everything is processed in a different, time frame, and they see students that they realized what they really need, what is still missing, what they need to ask you, what is not working perfectly, what they can adjust and customize. So that's what I saw at first. Even during the training, they are still a little bit disoriented, and there's no way you can fix everything. But as soon as you start, you need to provide support. You need to be available constantly, of course. But there's a change. There's a big leap that they did. So I would say that in a month, they're already doing pretty good in terms of using Blackboard. I mean.
And how do they what is their feedback about the interface? Do they find it, relatively user friendly? Is it, because of course with COVID-19, everybody has been using Zoom or some kind of video conferencing, having their documents on Google Doc or Dropbox. Teachers are sharing some, some of them have got experience with those kind of system, but maybe not as an LMS as such. Are they okay with it?
They are okay. What some of them told me, they probably hope in future there will be more way to customize in terms of colors, in terms of the graphic of the page. I mean, in Blackboard, Learn Ultra, so the course page. But that's a minor thing. They would love to embed more things directly, but we are developing our own materials. So to be honest, for the materials we are creating, it's working just fine. But of course, the teachers are then putting their own material, the PDF they write, the exercise they are developing. So they asked for more flexibility in terms of embedding things. That's the only thing probably that they mentioned, because to be honest, everything was smooth. But again, I will have a better feedback as far as we go with the courses.
Giorgio, thank you so much. I think, Nicolas, we got to close because there's another session. Is that right? We got a wellness guru speaking in 10 minutes, and we all need that, aren't we?
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much, Giorgio. Thanks a lot again for that great keynote. And yeah, looking forward keeping the project alive with you for a long, long time. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take good care, everybody. And I hope to see you next year with more results about this.